What is up, YouTube? That's here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a super cool video telling you everything you need to know about Dynamax. I'm going to be explaining what it is, everything we know about it, and speculating some things we can expect to see from it in the future. So if you guys have questions about Dynamax that I don't cover, leave those in the comments and we'll be able to work something out so I can explain it to you the best way I possibly can. So for those of you that don't know what Dynamax is, in the recent direct that we had on June 5th, Dynamax was revealed as the new type of Mega Evolution or Z-Move equivalent mechanic for Pokemon Sword and Shield Gen 8. And I've compilated like a bunch of stuff, a bunch of resources, and every little tidbit of information I could find. And here's what I've come up with. We're gonna be using actual, like, all these are 100% like confirmed things from Pokemon, the Pokemon website, the Pokemon Twitter, as well as a few other high, like, in the know Twitter accounts, and you'll be seeing all that stuff. So we're just gonna start out on the Pokemon site. I'll be having a link to this exact webpage in the description of this video, so if you want to check this out for yourself, it'll be right there. So this is like the PokemonSwordShield.com like /Dynamax. It's actually a bunch of really cool resources. It shows all the new Pokemon that were shown, as well as a bunch of other stuff. We're officially looking at the Dynamax tab, and Pokemon become huge with the Dynamax phenomenon. Dynamax is a phenomenon unique to specific locations in the Galar region where Pokemon are able to take on gigantic appearances. Pokemon from the Galar region are capable of Dynamaxing, and the Dynamax Pokemon become tremendously strong. So tremendously strong is the words we're looking at here. So a lot of people are wondering, like, you've been talking for a couple minutes, you haven't told me what it does. Well, it makes them super big, but a lot of people are like, I get that they get super big. Do they get super big stats? Do they get super big strength? Like, where is the actual numbers here? And I'm getting to it. I'm gonna get to it, but I just have to run this down for the people that, you know, don't exactly know what it is yet. So these are just straight screenshots from it. This is Corviknight. This is the new bird going up against Pikachu. You can see Corviknight Dynamaxes and goes into Super Omega Big Bird Boy Corviknight, and he just gets super big. And one thing to note, these are all in gyms and like stadiums, which we will actually be coming to for like a later part of my theory here. Each Dynamax Pokemon is super dynamic. You can see Pikachu goes to Big Chonky Boy Pikachu and gets like super big. Pokemon you encounter can Dynamax, and that's another weird thing that, like, I think is kind of weird, but it's only ever in a gym that you see it. All right. And keep on going down. Pokemon battles specialized for Dynamax. The Dynamax phenomenon, which allows Pokemon to become tremendously powerful, is an integral part of Pokemon battles in the Galar region. Dynamax Pokemon don't just become bigger, they get a boost in power as well. Very important to note that is very important. But they will return to normal after 3 turns. So make sure to think carefully about when to trigger the Dynamax phenomenon. I talked in my huge reaction video yesterday, my thoughts on Dynamax and what we thought it was gonna be off just the, tip of the iceberg info that we got. And I really thought at first it was a very unhealthy mechanic, because I thought it boosted like all of your stats, kind of like if it boosts all of your stats and your opponent has to play defensively for 3 turns, it gives you free reign to use setup moves like Swords Dance, Dragon Dance, Agility, Substitute. You're getting the idea. If you know your opponent is gonna be playing defensively, it gives you, as the person who has all these free stats which are just gonna go away, to set up with stats that will not go away. So we're gonna be talking about that as well, but it doesn't really seem that is the case, but it does say they get a boost in power. And I think at the very end of the video, we're going to be able to find out the exact boost of power that they get. You can only Dynamax your Pokemon once per battle. Very important. Just like Mega Evolving, just like Z-Moves, you can only do it once per battle. You can only Dynamax your Pokemon in specific locations of the Galar region. Like, you can't just bust this out all willy-nilly out on like Route 2. That's a very big thing. We're gonna come back to this. You can only do it in specific locations. That's actually going to come into the competitive play aspect of this as well. Like in stadiums of Pokemon gyms. Does not say Route 2. Doesn't say Wi-Fi battles. It says stadiums of Pokemon gyms. The key item for Dynamaxing, the Dynamax Band. Like, we have so many things. We need like a Mega Ring, Z Ring, Dynamax Band. Next thing we're going to need is the Infinity Gauntlet, I swear to goodness. Alright. Naturally, the Dynamax phenomenon is the topic of much research in the Galar region. A special item known as the Dynamax Band is the product of such research. Only trainers who possess a Dynamax Band are able to Dynamax their Pokemon. So here's some images of it. You know, you get the super big Pokeball. Pretty cool so far. So you got max moves. This is where actually I'm going to go into that competitive good stuff. All the moves of Dynamax Pokemon will turn into special max moves. Max moves pack a punch, right? They pack a punch, then maybe they get a little bit powerful. But that's not all. Some of the moves can even trigger powerful additional effects. This is what I think the Pokemon Company means when they say that all these Pokemon aren't going to be like super busted. I have no problem with Grookey having a moveset of Scratch, Razor Leaf, Growl, Taunt, and then going Super Grookey and getting Max Strike, Max Overgrowth, Max Guard, and Max Guard. So it looks like status moves and stuff like that just go to Max Guard. That's one thing to really note that we can pick up from this. But they still retain their inherent PP, and using PP in this mode looks like it actually uses the PP from the actual move. So that is another thing to watch out for. But I think, like, the max moves, I would not be surprised. So, like, Scratch is a 40 base power move. I would not be surprised if it adds, like, a 1.5 or maybe even a 1.3 to keep it balanced boost to it. We can definitely expect something like that because it did say they got in boost in power. But the real big thing here is that it says some of them can even trigger powerful additional effects. And we have one, for example, that does that. The max moves your Pokemon can use are determined by what kind and what type of moves they knew before Dynamaxing. So, you know, status moves become Max Guard, grass moves become Overgrowth, normal moves become Strike, and so we see some more images of, you know, Grookey and stuff like that using these max moves. And we have a max move to talk about. The normal type max move called Max Strike has the additional effect of lowering the speed stat of opponents it hits. Note that it says opponents. Maybe it can hit both. Who really knows? Maybe it doesn't have 100% accuracy. Who knows? Can these things miss? Who knows? But, you know, it is good to know that, like, the boost in power that they're really talking about that you get from these moves isn't necessarily, like, a damage boost. Sure, there's probably like a 1.3 to 1.5 multiplier, but it's the additional effect. And if Dynamaxing only really causes additional effects to happen, that's actually kind of balanced. Like, making your Scratch starts to like lower. Oh, it's just like Max Strike. Max Strike is all normal attacks. If you got a normal attack, you got a speed. You got a speed control move. That's actually pretty good. I'm sure like each one, like maybe Max Overgrowth has like maybe it poisons them or something. You know, something like that. There's each like different type of, you know, base move probably just has a bunch of different like special effects. Some might poison, some might paralyze, some might raise your critical hit ratio. And so if that's what they do, I think that's kind of balanced. Like that's fair. I wouldn't necessarily say it's balanced. As it goes, I don't think this is a balanced mechanic, but I do think that if each one of the different moves has like a special like ability attached to it that goes with it 100% of the time, or like most of the time, like a 50% chance to work or something like that, that is pretty balanced. But that's not all the info I have. The next thing we're going to be going to is Twitter, and I'm going to be looking at a bunch of different tweets and stuff like that I've found, and it's just scouring Twitter, right? And so it's a bunch of stuff from like the official Pokemon account and other like high-level Pokemon VGC players. So this is the official Pokemon account saying you've never seen a gym battle like this. Battles between gym leaders of Pokemon gyms throughout Galar often involving tense clashes with Dynamax Pokemon. Spectators flock to gyms, stadiums to watch these battles. See what I was talking about? How I do not think you're going to be able to use these super busted, overpowered Pokemon wherever you want. Like, seriously, it's, I think, one of those in-game mechanics. Kind of like how, you know, when you're playing through, like, Ultra Sun and Moon, and one of your Pokemon, like, gets a crit, and then it says, like, it was so happy with your affection for it, it got a crit, or it dodged a move, or it hung on at one, or it shook off that paralyze. I think it might be just one of those in-game mechanics. I do think there's definitely a chance that, like, we get our own special ladder for it. Similar to, like, you go in Battle Spot right now, you can go, like, Battle Spot Singles, Battle Spot Doubles, Battle Spot Championship format, and Battle Spot Special. I wouldn't be surprised if in Gen 8 we have, like, Battle Spot Singles, Battle Spot Doubles, Battle Spot Championship, Battle Spot Special, and maybe Battle Spot Dynamax. Like, Dynamax is its own ladder. Who knows? I think that could be really, really cool, and I would be totally fine with that, but it's looking kind of like this is, like, its own little in-game mechanical thing. It's looking like it's its own little in-game mechanical thing. And I just did not want to do that. Let's just go back. I did not want to click that. There we go. Alright, so yeah, it looks like it's looking to be like its own little in-game mechanical thing, but who knows? Who knows? We still have a lot more stuff to talk about. Alright, so I just have a lot of tweets that I favorited in order to talk about. Dynamax Pokemon moves will turn into special max moves pack a punch, and some of them can even trigger power of additional effects. We already talked about that, but I do think it's really good to reiterate it. It says pack a punch, so I am thinking there is some sort of damage multiplier, but note that, like, it really says max moves pack a punch. It doesn't say Dynamaxed Pokemon pack a punch. It says max moves pack a punch. And if it's the moves themselves getting stronger, similar to how a Z move is the move itself getting stronger and not the Pokemon getting stronger, that's a lot more balanced than a Pokemon just getting a ×2 to all of its stats. And I know you guys are still wondering, like, what are the stat boosts that you get? You got to be able to get something, and we are going to be talking about that. We are going to be talking about it. Last thing from the Pokemon Twitter account, additional info we discovered about Dynamax. You know, Dynamax Pokemon in specific locations, really going along with what I originally said about it being only in gyms, like Pokemon gyms, and you can only do it once per battle. Remember, you can only do it once, and that is important. All right, so let's see. This one wasn't important. This one wasn't important, but it was I favored anyways. So yeah, this is a very important part of my whole theory here, my game theory, if you will. So this is a guy named David. This is Hamster Mania VGC player, and he actually got a bunch of like picks together and really compared stuff. This is all stuff you can also find on the official Pokemon website, but he like compiled it here. So this isn't like leaks. This is all like 100% confirmed stuff. But if we look at this picture right here, I know it's very, very small. I wish it would be bigger. But you can kind of see a regular Grookey on the left. It has 41 HP. If you look at the Grookey on the right, it is in its Dynamax mode. Now, that Dynamax mode Grookey has 61 HP. Now, that's a 20 HP boost. And the way HP is like rounded and stuff like that, that's a 50% boost. So we can kind of assume that Pokemon get a 50% HP boost upon Dynamaxing. And I think that's the only boost they get. I think it's very similar to Zygarde in its like Super Zygarde form from Ultra Sun and Moon. When Zygarde goes from its 50% form to its 100% form, all it really gets is like an HP boost, among other things, but it does get an HP boost, right? So I'm thinking the big thing that you get when you Dynamax is you get that 50% HP boost, make you just a little bit thicker, and all of your moves apply additional effects, and there might be some sort of damage boost to your moves, but it's not a damage boost to your Pokemon's base stats, which I actually think could be balanced. It's not something I'm really looking forward to just yet, but I will say with a straight face that is something that could be balanced. He has another pick here, right here. So he shows like a Pikachu, or it looks like Pikachu. It's actually a Corviknight, whose HP is 166, and then upon Dynamaxing, it's in a Dynamax battle with a Pikachu where they're both Dynamax. It goes up to 249. So it just does confirm, and you can see his actual numbers here that he runs everything. It is a 1.5 boost, to all those things. And then he talks about Pikachu not having the correct one, but it was debunked as that's Corviknight, and the Pikachu is the opponent, not your partner in that game, in that situation. He also talks here about how Dynamax is almost certainly like Zygarde that will increase HP. No other stats will be increased. It's just completely an HP boost. Dynamax moves might be slightly more powerful, but they have additional effects like the starter move, normal move, or speed by one stage. So this tweet right here is just the tweet that decided to get me to type this video, because I feel a lot of people aren't going to know this stuff, and I felt that I have a platform, so I can definitely do my best to share it. So that is pretty much all the things I have to say about Dynamax. I will probably be making another video talking about the potential effects that Dynamax has on competitive play at a later date. If you want to see something like that, if you liked this video, you could always drop a sub, drop a like, or drop those comments in the comments below, and actually let me know if you guys have any questions. What do you guys think about Dynamax? What do you guys think about it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you wish it was something else? Do you have any questions about it? If you have any questions, even if I didn't cover them in this video here, I might be able to answer them in the comments below. So leave those comments. I want to say thank you guys for watching. Hope you're having a great week with all of these reveals, and I hope you have a great time, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.